Hello, and welcome back to the Sisters in Spirit podcast. My name is Melanie, and it has been a while. It has been a very long time. I believe it's been like a year and a half since the last time I was in an episode. And to say the least, a lot has changed in great and amazing ways. And I'm so happy that I'm back today and I can share a little bit about what God has been doing in my life in the past year and all of the great changes and things that have happened. And I hope that this can be encouraging to you all as well. So, Kate got to go over it a little bit in the last episode, but I'm married now. So that's a super exciting change that has happened. I also moved to another state. So that is why Kate and I are not together, which I'm so sad about. But I'm happy that we're still going to be able to continue to do this, even if it's in a little bit of a different way. Today, what I really wanted to talk about was just everything that's kind of happened over the past year and how God has just been working in my life during this time. So, when we left off, I was in college still, and I was actually about to graduate in a few months, and I was looking for a post grad job. So, I live in Connecticut before, and I was applying for so many jobs, like left and right. I think I applied for about like 70 something jobs in Connecticut, and I got denied by every single one. So if you're going through the whole job search process, I feel for you and I'm praying for you because it is so hard to land a good job nowadays, especially out of college. You think you're going to have all of these opportunities just waiting for you, and you quickly realize that's not the case. So I was really going through it, trying to find a post grad job. I was working at a nursing home for many years since high school, and I just genuinely didn't enjoy it, and I didn't want to be doing that for the rest of my life. And I got to the point when I was getting so many rejections that I was like, it looks like this is going to be my life. I'm going to be working at this nursing home forever. I'm going to be living in my parents' house. Nothing is going to change. And I'm just going to settle and stay in my hometown for the rest of my life. And it was definitely a very trying time. But because of all of these rejections, it pushed me to learn to step out in faith a little bit more. I had never really wanted to stay in Connecticut long term. Like, I wanted to move out of state and go start my life somewhere else, but I never really thought I would really do it. Like, I wanted to do it, but I didn't have the guts to actually do it. And I didn't know how I would do it either. So it just was kind of like this dream that was just really out of reach, or so I thought was out of reach. And during that time when I was applying for jobs and I just wasn't getting anything in Connecticut, I was like, you know what? Let me just throw it out there. Let me apply for some jobs out of state. Like, I'm not going to get anything, I'm not going to get anything. It's fine. Let me just apply. Well, turns out God had a plan in a place where I didn't see a plan, and I was able to get multiple job interviews and offers out of state, which is so exciting for me because I was like, oh my gosh, I finally am getting something, and it looks like I'm going to be able to just start my own life. And that is so, so exciting. And since I was like 11 years old, I visited Charleston, South Carolina, and I said to my parents, like, I'm going to move here one day. I love it here. I'm just obsessed. Like, I will move here one day. And I just so happened to get a job offer in South Carolina. So I thought, this is so perfect. I can move out here and at least be in the same state. And I've always wanted to do this. Like, I can't believe that God opened this door for me. And thankfully, I was able to get that job position and move down to South Carolina. And it has genuinely been such an amazing experience moving from the north to the south. I've experienced so much kindness and warmth from the people here. It is so beautiful here. The weather is amazing. I'm not dealing with 5-month winter. so sorry to all of you New Englanders. It's 80 degrees right now. I know you guys still have snow outside. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I just wasn't cut out for that life. Like, I couldn't do it, you know? And so I'm so happy that I was able to have the opportunity to move away to somewhere I always wanted to live. And I have been enjoying it so, so much. And during this time, I graduated college, I got engaged, and then I moved out to South Carolina, and I just had so much change happening all at the same time. This past year was just such a year full of change, but also a year full of growth and seeing God's hand just actively at work in my life. And it's been so, so amazing to just experience that and to just truly experience the peace and joy that God provides for his children. So, during this time, I was working at this job that I got that moved me out here, and I just didn't enjoy it. It was honestly taking a real toll on me in every single capacity, like my health, my spiritual health, my emotional health, my physical health. Like, everything was just deteriorating. I was so stressed out. I was working long hours. I was working like 6 days a week. I had no consistency in my schedule, and it was just a really stressful job. I didn't really know what I was walking into with the position either, because I had never done anything in the realm that I entered, and I just thought it was going to be different from what it actually ended up being, and it just wasn't for me. And that was really, really hard to go through that period of time where it's like, I have responsibilities now. I'm not in my parents' house, and I can't just be like, oh, it's okay because mommy and daddy are going to pay the bills for me. Like, I need to work to live, and I can't just leave my job. So, this period of time where I was working here and I was just being completely torn down and deteriorated in every single way, it was a very, very difficult trial to go through. And I'm still recovering from it now. But, I've definitely experienced such a huge change in this time. And I think it really helped me to grow as a person and as an adult. And it also helped me grow in my faith. And to get more into that, as time progressed, my fiance and I got married, which was so amazing. We had a really beautiful elopement. It was so great to just be alone and intimate in the presence of God and to create that covenant with Him. It was such an amazing and beautiful experience and so stress free. Like, I would do it again. Doesn't mean that one day I won't have like my big wedding and do like a vow renewal or something, but it was definitely really beautiful to just have this intimate, beautiful ceremony that's just us and God. And it was very, very nice. I loved it. And it was such a great stepping stone in this year that has just been full of change and growth. And I really, really was so happy about this. And the next day after we got married, actually, I was on Zillow, as I did at the time. And I was like, oh, like, look at this house. This is a total fixer upper. But, like, we should just go look at it. Like, we're married now. Like, isn't that what people do next? They buy a house. Not that I thought that we could buy a house at the time. We were living in an apartment, which was really, really cute. The apartment was nice. It was physically nice, but we had so many issues with like management, and the area wasn't the greatest because when we moved here not knowing a single thing. We did not know anybody. We did not know the area we are going to move to. We had never been here before. My husband had literally never been to the state of South Carolina before, ever. And we just moved here completely blind, purely trusting in God. We had no idea what we were walking into. We had no idea what God had for us here, but it was truly us taking a huge leap of faith and just being like, God, you know what? You're sending us here for a reason. I'll let you do your thing. Show me what you have for me. And he definitely did his big one. Okay. So I found this house on Zillow and I was like, I really want to go see this house. Like, what's the harm? Let's go see the house. And we don't have to buy it or anything, we could just go look. So I did the little Zillow appointment thing. we went to go see this house. It was so beautiful. It had so much character. It had like a little pond in the back, had like a chicken coop, like a huge deck. It was so, so nice, but it needed so much work. And me and my husband always talk about real estate. So we were like, maybe we should try to get into this and see like maybe we can renovate the house little by little and really make it our own thing. And that kind of got us into this idea of like, like what if we could get a house? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that we really can, but like, what if we just tried? What if we just put it out there and saw if God would open the door for us? And I think that's something that we have done repeatedly over this past year that just has really changed the way that we operate and the way that we go about situations and taking risks, because we take risks with full faith that God will pull through and provide for us. And we truly believe that whatever plan God has set for us, it will happen. We just need to take the step of having faith in what He has for us. And He has proven true every single time. And I'm so, so glad to say that my God has not forsaken me. And I know that He never, ever, ever will. And it has been such a blessing to be able to experience His provision in such an amazing way in the past year. So moving forward, we go see this house, we love it, and we're like, why don't we just go through the process? Like, if God wants us to buy a house, He is going to swing every single door open that needs to be swung open. And even if it seems like we don't feel qualified to even be able to think about this, mind you, we're 21. We just moved to a whole new state a few months ago that we literally don't know anything about. We don't know anybody out here. We are just like purely just lost in a sense. And God gave us our path. And it was so amazing to see. And we decided, like, let's go see if we can get pre approved for a loan. That door swings open. We get pre approved. And I was in shock. Like, there's no way. I didn't think I was going to be able to get pre approved for a loan. Like, there's no way. Someone's going to give a 21-year-old a mortgage. That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's no way. But thankfully we were. And throughout this time, we also found out that one of my husband's cousins lives here, and we were able to connect with them and to start building community. And that was such an amazing thing, because before meeting them, we were really unsure about the area of South Carolina that we moved to. We weren't sure if we liked it, if we wanted to stay here, but they truly showed us everything that there is to love about this place. And that was such an amazing blessing as well, because we have grown to truly love the area that we live in. And it has been so, so nice to be able to connect with other people who are believers as well. And we continued going through this process. The first day we went to go look at houses, I found the house. And I'm not perfect, okay? I'm a little stubborn, a little bit, just a little bit. And I found the house and I was like, this is the house that I want. I need this house. Like, it's so cute. It needed some work, but I was willing to do it. And I was like, I want this house. Like, it's so perfect. It was on a little cul-de-sac. It was adorable. And I just really wanted this house. It was giving like cottage vibes. It was super, super cute. And my husband was unsure. He was like, I really want to look at more houses. We only went one day. And I was like, I already know, like, that this is the house that I want. Fast forward to the next day, the house goes under contract. And I'm just like, God, I literally cried. I was like, God, like, this was the house. Like, I knew this was the house that I wanted. Why did you just shut this door on me? This is the house that I wanted. And in that moment, I realized that when God shuts a door, it's because He has a greater one wide open for you. It's just waiting for you to take those few steps through it. And my husband decided that he wanted to go look at a few more houses. And I was over it at this point. I was like, I don't want to look at any more houses. I didn't want to buy a house anymore. Like, forget it, whatever. And throughout this time, my sister-in-law was sending me houses to go look at. And she had just so happened to send me a house the day I was sending the realtors all the houses we wanted to look at that next day. And I was like, sure, I'll add this one in there, whatever. So we go to see the houses. Nothing special. Was like, whatever. I don't care about any of these houses. They're not the other house. I don't like them. Like, whatever. We go to the last house, and it is the house that I'm sitting in today. I walked in, and I immediately fell in love with the house. And it also gave me a feeling almost of nostalgia of the house that I grew up in. It doesn't look like the house I grew up in, but it felt like it. And I loved that, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a home that felt warm, that felt like a home, and that reminded me of where I'm from, where I came from, and my childhood in a sense. Because one day when I have children, I want them to have that same feeling about my house. And I felt that when I walked into this home, and I was like, well, God, what can I say? You know better than me once again. And God blessed us in such an amazing way with this house. We asked for so many things when giving in our offer, and I was like, no way they accept our offer. They did. And then we had our inspection. Everything went well, but we wanted a few things fixed. Like, no way they say yes to this, too. God said, here you go. Every single thing that we have needed since moving here, God has provided for us. And this has just given me like physical proof of what it is like to know God and to fully trust in Him and have faith in Him. And I have been able to experience firsthand the loving and good God that we have, and the good Father that we have that provides for His children and cares for His children. And it has been such an amazing experience to be able to see God's hand at work in my life. And it's just been so great being a homeowner as well, just being able to be a steward in my home, to also be a wife has been such an amazing experience. And now I am a dog mom of 2. I just got a new puppy. So that has been very fun. I'm very tired though. He doesn't sleep through the night. But he's cute, so it makes up for it. But I have just been living in so much joy and peace, and I can't even begin to explain how it feels or where it comes from except from God. So, during this time of us closing on our house, if you have bought a house before, like you cannot do anything. You want to keep everything the way it was when you put in that offer, because they're going to ask you a lot of questions. If you change something, this might affect you getting the house. You need to be very, very careful. And during this time, my husband's car goes out. So now we only have one car, and we live in the same city, but we work in 2 different cities. So you can imagine how stressful that might be. We're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We only have one car. There's 2 of us that need to go to 2 different places every single day to go to work, and we can't take out a loan for a car. We can't go spend a large amount of money on a car. What are we going to do? And in that moment, I was genuinely scared. Like, God, everything was going okay. Like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And we dealt with that for a while. It was hard, it was difficult. But at the end of it all, the day after we closed for our house, we were able to get a new car because God is so good, and He opened the door for us to be able to do that. And it was so amazing. I did not think I would be getting a brand new car at the age of 21 and being able to do that, but God made it happen, because my God is a girl dad, and He loves His children so, so much that He wants to provide for you, and He wants to bless you with the desires of your heart as long as they align with what His ultimate will is for your life. And I just am so, so happy with everything that I've been able to experience within this past year. And I'm just so grateful and happy. Like, I can't even stop saying that, can't stop smiling. Everything about me just exudes this joy that has purely been given to me by the Lord Jesus Christ. It literally can't come from anywhere else. So, fast forward. I'm still at this job that I don't like, right? I'm still at this stressful job. Like, everything with this job is just not going well for me. It's not working with me. And I felt so lost and stuck. I was so deteriorated in every way. These great things were happening, but I was struggling to enjoy them because my job was dragging me down so much. And I was looking for new jobs. And I wasn't really getting anything. I wasn't getting interviews again. And I was like, wow, I'm going to be stuck here. And who knows how long. I was in a contractual obligation. I'm screwed. I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'm going to be stuck here and I'm going to be miserable until I can finally get out. And I don't know when that's going to be. And during this difficult time, I just really held on to that truth that God provides for his children. He knows what you need and he will provide it to you at the perfect time and in the perfect way. I'm applying for jobs and I come across a job that is everything I've always wanted to do and everything I've been working towards in my career. And I was like, this is perfect. I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket and I'm just going to trust that if this is what God has for me, it's for me. I applied for the job, didn't hear back for months. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to hold tight to the fact that God has my back and I'm going to get this job. Like, I don't care if I haven't heard back in a month and a half. If this is what God has for me, it's mine. I get an interview. The interview went so well that day I put my 2 weeks in at my job and I walked purely on faith that God was going to provide for me and bless me with this job, because if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have let the door open. And every single time I ask God for something, I tell him this one thing: if it's not for me, close every single door to it. And if it's for me, open every single door so that I know that the way that you have for me is clear. And what God has truly done every single time is swing open every single door to whatever opportunity or blessing that he's had for me that I have asked every single time. And our God is such a good God. He's just waiting for you to ask. He's waiting for you to ask for that thing. He's waiting for you to take that risk and truly trust in him that he's going to provide for you in whatever circumstance. And just, he truly has done it for me, just over and over and over again in this past year. And it has been so good. I got this amazing job. I've been working in the job for a couple of months and I truly do love it. I love the work environment. I love the people that I work with. And this has been such a breath of fresh air after my previous job and jobs that I've worked in the past. This has been the most amazing experience so far. And I am so grateful that God opened every door. Even though he opened every door, that doesn't mean that I didn't face trial and I didn't face difficult times. I was without a job for several months before I started this job, but I fully trusted in God and God provided every single thing we needed. When we were moving out here to South Carolina, God provided every single thing down to the exact dollar amount we needed to move. He provided us with that exact thing. So nothing is impossible for our God. There is no prayer too great that you can ask him for that he cannot give you as long as it's in his will. Ask for him. Ask for him to give you what's in his will for your life, because we think so often that we know what the plan for our life should be, that we know what should happen next, and that we know what we need. But God knows what we need more than we do. He knows who we are more than we know ourselves. And he also knows what's happening in rooms where we are not in and what's working against us. So he knows exactly where to lead us to bring us to victory. And I have just experienced this in so many ways, like I've explained throughout this past year. And I can wholeheartedly say that this is the best season I have ever been in my life. I am full of joy. I'm full of so much peace. I'm free of stress that I was experiencing. I was experiencing extreme anxiety and worry during this time at my previous job that truly deteriorated my health in a way that I have never experienced or could ever imagine. But God freed me from all of those things so that I can come back and say, look at what God did in my life to other people. And I'm so happy that I'm back here on the podcast so that I can kind of have that platform to share about the great things that God has done. And to be honest, I was unsure whether or not I would come back. I didn't really know if this was something I still wanted to do. I didn't know if I was qualified to speak or if God had anything to say through me. And what I did realize was that as a believer, our job, for every single one of us, has the same job, and that is to spread the word of Jesus Christ. And this is my way of doing it. I like to talk, and this is my way of sharing with you all the amazing things that God has done in my life. And I pray that God speaks through me, whether that is to motivate you or to help you or to show you that I've done it for other people. Why can't I do it for you? And help you increase your faith, even if it is just a little bit. So I want to end off with a few messages from the Bible that I have held on to over this past year that have been a great blessing to me, that have been my support in difficult times and have motivated me so much. So let's open our Bibles. Let's read a few verses, okay? All right. First off, we have Isaiah 43 and we have verse 1. But now this is what the Lord says: He who created you, Jacob, he who formed you, Israel, do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. I have held so close to this because it just reminded me that God calls me his greatest creation. God created me with so much purpose and so much intention and so much love. So why would he not care for me? Why would he not provide for me when he chose me and he thought of me when he was on that cross getting crucified? He thought of me and he thought of each and every one of you. So when I remind myself of this, I realize that I belong to the Lord. The Lord's not going to leave me and he's not going to forsake me. When I belong to him, I am his. So hold on to that truth today. Remind yourself that you are the Lord's child. Nobody and nothing can get in between you and your Father. Next, we're going to go to Matthew and we're going to read two different passages in Matthew. And the first one is Matthew 6, verse 25, and so on until the end of the chapter. So, therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. Do they not sow or reap or store away in barns? And yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow, they do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. First of all, let's live in today. We are not promised tomorrow, and we are barely promised today. Let's live in the moment. Let's live in the right now. Let's live in the blessing and the provision that God's given us in this moment, what we have right now. And let's make the most of it. Let's be good stewards of what we have right now. So when God is ready to open that next door, you have shown that you have been faithful with little so that you can be trusted with much. And I think the first step to that is just being in the present. Let's stop thinking about tomorrow. Let's stop thinking about the future. And let's start thinking about now. What can I do now for the kingdom of God? What can I do now to better the temple of God? What can I do now to serve God? And that is something that I've really been able to take into perspective throughout this year is this is so much bigger than me. And what God's doing in my life is not just for me to enjoy, but for me to share and for me to talk about and for me to be able to use it as my testimony. And that is what I'm doing now. And I think that we all need to take a step back and outside of ourselves and realize, what is God trying to do with me right now? Why does He have me in this situation? What am I meant to go through? What am I meant to take out of this? So start thinking about your trials and difficult times in this way. And not just that, but let's stop worrying and let's have a little bit more faith, okay? Like, what are you adding on to your life by worrying about this, that, and the third? Nothing. You're not doing anything for you. You're not changing your circumstances. You're not making anything better. If anything, you're only making things worse. Let's stop worrying and actually relinquish our control to God. Let's let God, the one who makes all things, have control over our lives. He knows what's best for us. Like it says, God knows what you need. So you don't need to go crazy about, oh, I need this, I need that, and I want this, and I want that. God knows what you need, and He'll give it to you at the right time. So allow Him to be able to guide you into what you truly need next. Because oftentimes we think we know everything, and we think we know what we need and when we need it. And we are so, so wrong. Do you think that I thought I would be married at 21? Do you think I thought I would be living in another state at 21, fresh out of college? Do you think I would be a homeowner at 21? I didn't think any of these things were going to happen to me for years. My plan was, I'll get married at 25 and I'll get a house at like 27, 28, and then I'll have my kids before 30. I don't know. What did I know? I didn't know anything. So I need to just step back and let God show me what He wants and on His timeline. Because the truth of the matter is that He knows best. And when you let God take control over your life and allow Him to lead you where He is trying to, you will be able to experience the great blessings that He has for you because you're allowing Him to work in your life. You're not building up these walls and trying to restrict Him from working. So let's take a step back. Let's stop worrying. Let's stop having anxiety and fear over situations. And let's just let God do His thing. Because when you give Him the space to do His thing, He can do a lot with it. And I'm proof. I'm proof He can do a lot with it, okay? So I can purely say that nothing that I have is because of anything I've done. It's purely because God has chosen to have favor over me. Because He's so, so good to me. He is so, so good. And He wants to be so, so good to you too. But you need to let Him be good to you. You need to accept His gifts, accept His blessings, accept His redirection. And He will provide for you. He will provide every single thing for you. When I was moving out here, I was unsure how I'd pay bills or how certain things would work or how to be able to, stay afloat. And God has provided for us in every single way in such a matter that we have not had a need for anything. Even in difficult times, God has been there and He has provided every single, when I tell you every single little thing to the last little detail He has provided for us, He has provided for us every single time, because this is what God had for us right now. So if this is what God has for me, He's going to provide every single thing I need to be able to keep moving forward, because He doesn't want me to be stagnant and He doesn't want me to go backwards. He wants me to continue moving forward on the path that He's paved for me. And He wants to do the same for you. Now let's go to the next passage over here in Matthew. We are going to Matthew 17:20. So it says here, He replied, "Because you have so little faith, truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." When you have that trust in God, nothing will be impossible for you. Take the leap. Take that big step. especially if you are in a position where I'm so grateful for my family. Like, I know I have support and I have a backing if anything ever went wrong, you know? But if you are in that kind of position, take that risk because you have all the reasons in the world to take a risk. You have every single reason in the world to take a risk. And even if you're not in that position, but God's calling you to do something that's out of the ordinary, that's risky, take the leap, take that jump, and just truly rely on God and just truly, truly let your faith run its course. Let your faith be what guides you. Let God work in you and do what He's been trying to do in you. He just wants you to let go and let Him do His thing. Let go and let God. You know, the little saying everybody always says, let go and let God. It's very, very true. Let go and let God work in your life. Let Him lead you where He's trying to lead you. I am 110% a believer of you should be taking the biggest risks of your life, no matter whether you're in your 20s, whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s. Tomorrow's not promised. If God's calling you to do something today, you better do it today. Let Him do what He needs to do. He's going to provide for you. He's going to make your path clear. Just do it. Take the biggest risk of your life. You only have one life on this earth, and God has an intention with that. Don't block yourself from living in your purpose and from living in the blessings that God has for you on this earth. Don't block yourself from it. Just relinquish control, have that faith, and you just need to have faith as little as a mustard seed. A mustard seed is like this small. It's so, so small. Just a little bit of faith can take you so, so far. So I want to leave off with this. I hope that this was motivational for you, and I hope that God was able to speak to at least one person through this. Our goal has never been to, speak to a million people and be famous or anything like that. It's truly just for God to speak through us and to just touch that one person, to get that one person to turn to Him, to seek Him, or to deepen their faith in Him. And I hope that at least one person today was able to take this message, was able to think, you know what? I'm going to take that leap and I'm going to have that faith in God. And although oftentimes I felt like I didn't have the tools, I realized that I don't need the tools. God has the tools. And I am a tool, and He's going to use me too. So start changing your perspective, start having a little bit more faith, take that risk that you have been thinking about for a while, take that risk that God has been pushing you to do, and truly see how God is going to pull through in your life. Like, God has pulled through in my life in such an amazing, amazing way. I am so filled with joy and true peace. I genuinely wake up every single day so, so happy. Like, I just have so much joy that even when any inconvenience happens, I have just learned to be like, well, God, you've got it. Whatever is happening, God, you've got it. You've got everything under control, and He has not failed me ever, and I know that He never will. So hold on to that truth today, and I pray that you all have a super blessed week. I'm so happy to be back, and I am excited to see you in the next episode. All right. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.